Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to is this number 20?
Episode 20.
The 20th episode of the Go Get That podcast, just in time for our favorite week on the PGA Tour schedule, the Farmers Insurance Open at the prestigious Torrey Pines North and South courses. I mean, just some of the best design you'll ever see. We have a decent amount to talk about today. I know it's a weird week, Wednesday to Saturday. And I know we kind of promised viewers a little bit of football talk at the end, but that was going to happen anyway. So I don't know, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Kind of the first, I don't want to hate on Century here, but the Farmers is just, it's got a big event feel.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the Arnold Palmer tier, if you want to group it.
It's the start of the season in most people's opinions.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan plays 4 straight weeks starting this week, so it's the start. I feel like the Century was like a preseason, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
that's the real start.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, Jordan mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. A lot of guys come here because it is the first test on the PGA Tour schedule. It's the first real, let's see where your golf game is at. As much as my co-hosts don't like Torrey, and not that I am in love with Torrey. I think it's just it's overhyped quite a bit, but because it's just such a straightforward golf course. Anyway, we'll probably get into that at some point, but this is it's a real test of golf, right? I don't think you can deny that. You get a winner around 12 to 13 under, which is you shoot 69 on the South course, it's a pretty good round. So I'm excited to see where Jordan's game's at. And then obviously it'll be interesting to see where everybody else's game's at. And, we're going through some of our bets this week. I'm curious to see how people play and compare it to how they played at the US Open last year. How different was that setup really? So it's something that I'm looking at. But I'm excited. Farmers is a good week. We start on a Wednesday this week as well, which is exciting. Golf is only 2 days away. Tee time's already out.
Yeah, since you mentioned it, we're playing with Ricky and Bryson. I know it's weird. We're recording and we already know the tee times. So that's definitely different. I kind of like it because we get to share more info with the audience. So 12:40 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday off the North Course, the 10th tee. 1:40 p.m. Eastern Thursday off the South Course, first tee. Kind of hate. I mean, just my opinion. I wish we play the South Course first because if we start on the North Course and Jordan plays horribly on Wednesday, we're behind the 8 ball after 18 holes. Whereas you play the South Course on Wednesday, you can afford to play iffy golf because you got a scoreable course the next day. But what are you going to do about it?
I I agree with Jordan. I'd rather have the South course to start. Just feel like it's just like an obligation. You have to go low on the North course to have any chance of doing anything this week. So it's almost like a one and done. You got to play well Thursday or you're basically dead for the week. But it is what it is. Every person has to play 18 holes at both before the cut. So just kind of got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's an interesting pressure that it puts on the players of you have to shoot at least 3 or 4 under there because the South course is 3 or 4 under on the South is a great round. That's maybe 65 or 66 on the South, but maybe. And we've seen 62s all year, and it's possible we see a 63, 64 on the North. But I think starting on the North means you gotta get to 3 or 4.
Absolutely. At worst.
Otherwise, you're trying to, at least to get into contention, you have to play the South in 3 or 4 under. If you don't play the North in 3 or 4 under, and hanging on the South course is tough because the par 5s are not are not gimmies by any means. I think the ninth is it's what, like straight as an arrow, and it's 600 yards. And if you miss off the
It's a
tee just
beast,
slightly, it's
yeah.
like you've got a pretty good, pretty lengthy wedge shot into the green. So, but conditions will be perfect because it's San Diego. It's literally 67 degrees and sunny every day. Maybe a little bit of wind. We'll have to check that as we get closer to Wednesday, but it's always a great setup at Torrey, I think.
Yeah,
Just sometimes it's a little. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we can air out.
I mean,
Torrey.
yeah, let's go at it. Let's just give it. I'm not holding back. I think it's a pretty horrible design. They keep it up well. It's not a. I mean, it's a pure golf course. I mean, the fairways are pure. The rough is really pure. I mean, it's the same length everywhere. It's just long, but it's just every hole is 480 yards right down the middle, and the best you're going to get is a slight dog leg and hope for a different direction the next hole. I mean, it's the fourth hole is the dumbest hole I've ever seen. It's pretty horrendous. The only thing to it is the views, and you can hit it 90 miles right and be fine like Bryson did. It's just not a great design. I think it's just very boring, but you can make the case that it always provides a pretty decent golf tournament. So what are you going to do? But I just rather see two guys coming down the stretch on some holes where, it's not predictable.
Yeah, I just like Torrey Pines too, but at the very least, if you look at who wins this event, it produces great winners.
Yeah.
And I don't like Torrey Pines, but I hate the majority of the courses they play on tour. So like, I'm used to it, and at the very least, the South course is going to play over par every single day. So par is going to be a good score on probably 12 of the 18 holes they're going to play on the South course. And I like that. I think Jordan likes that. Jordan doesn't like having to he doesn't like Birdie Fest. Most of the guys on tours don't like Birdie Fest. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I think my bone that I pick with Torrey is that it is, like Bob said, it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. And I know number 3 is a big elevated tee shot difference. And some of the views are phenomenal, and that's cool. But the golf course itself, it's 450, par 4, slight dog leg right or left. And at the end of the day, it does produce good winners because you have to be extremely consistent. So it's a very good test of golf, but it's not the most interesting watch, I'd say. Like, it can produce, I mean, the US Open was fun to watch with the amount of people in it, but I think it's the players that make the course great more than the course making the tournament great. Kind of where it stands, but it could, I mean, at least it's not a birdie fest and boring.
That's literally the only thing it has for its case, I'd say. I think that does. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have to take into account that it produces really good winners, and it's a test of golf. I just think that, I mean, with the land that they had there, they just could have done so much better. I mean, they can make that really hard without making it as boring as it is. But I don't know. I think if you had choice between that and a birdie fest at Shadow Creek, some people would take Torrey Pines. Like, it's all up to taste. Obviously my opinion is what it is, but.
Well, yeah, the alternative to Torrey, I think, like in terms of like boring of watching, it's like the Rocket Mortgage would be the boring birdie fest.
Yeah.
It's just straight away. It's usually pretty soft because it's humid around that time of year, and you get 25, 26 under, and Bryson hitting it over everything. And it's like, well, there's that. But at least at Torrey, there's some it's difficult. You miss the fairways and you can get in some trouble around here, which I think has been Jordan's big problem around here in the past, because he hasn't played Torrey really with any great form except for the US Open last year, and he had a T20 where he missed everything inside of 10 feet. And with the new aim point, the new Greller, stepping on the lines and feeling it with his feet. I mean, he didn't miss inside of 6 feet at Century. We'll see if that continues because Torrey in the afternoon, especially with the grass type, it can get a little beat up and it can be hard to make 3, 4, 5 footers. So I think that'll be one thing to watch out for this week is to really see where the stroke is and the confidence with kind of the aim point inside 6, 7, 8 feet.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the course while it's like being played. Like he's got to score. Like there's no excuses just because we think Torrey Pines is not a great golf course doesn't mean Jordan Spieth shouldn't still be playing well. I mean, he's a professional golfer. He should be able to make the cut this week. If he's playing well, he should be able to finish well if he's playing well. He's driving the ball better. And if you're driving the ball well, you can score here. As long as you keep it in play and you're not hitting out of the rough all day. I think that's why I tweeted, I think Jordan's got a better chance this year than he has most years in the past playing this course, just because the driver is his strength right now, given how poor his putting's been and his irons really aren't there either. So I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, the driver actually, he's gained strokes off the tee in 9 of his last 12 rounds, dating back to
unheard of for
round
a few months before that.
Round 1 of the Tour Championship. And I was just looking at the charts. I know he's lost strokes with his irons and his approach game more rounds than he's gained since the Tour Championship. So yeah, having the driver as a strength at Torrey Pines it's unfamiliar territory for us. But I mean, again, if he can put it in the fairway and make a few putts, I think he's got a better chance to win this week than I think I did at Century, to be honest. I don't think he's going to win this week, but I have more confidence going into this week than I did going into Century.
Well, the key also at Torrey is that you have to be able to get it. I mean, at any course, you have to be able to get it up and down, but Torrey offers some very difficult around the green shots, and he was phenomenal around the green at Century. Like there were some shots that were just ridiculous, which was good to see, but the iron play is still very concerning. He gained Sunday at Century, and there was decent improvement every day, partly because Thursday he put a 3-wood into the tall grass, like 40 yards short of the green. So that derails the number by quite a bit. But we'll see. I mean, the wedges, I think, were the main thing that kind of lowered the strokes gain numbers at Century. I feel like they were just like meh at best. And at Torrey, you're not going to have a lot of wedge chances. And those are kind of your scoring opportunities, right? So he's going to have to hit everything inside of 125. I mean, at 20 feet has got to be like that's not great, but there can't be any 45-foot wedge shots from 120 if he wants to win this thing. Because you're not going to be able to score with 7 and 8 irons from 180, 190 consistently.
Yeah, there's a lot of long irons this week. As you said, there's not a whole lot of wedge opportunities. I mean, some of his wedge opportunities are going to come at par 5s because you can't get there in 2, so you're going to have to get up and down with a wedge. So a lot of long irons. Par 72, 7,765 yards. I think that's the longest. It's the longest course on tour we're getting this week.
I'm excited for it.
I mean, the North course is 500 yards shorter than the South course. The North course will play 3 to 4 shots easier than the South course, which I don't know. Wednesday is going to be stressful because if he gets off to a slow start Wednesday, knowing what's coming on Thursday, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, if he's not inside the top 20 after Wednesday, you get a little bit concerned because then you have to go down to the South course and you're already putting yourself in a hole, right? Because the top 20 it's going to be 15 guys from the North course after Wednesday. And they'll show it on Golf Channel. We'll talk about the coverage, I'm sure, at some point, because I think it's going to be pretty solid this week. It was pretty good at the American Express. But they'll show it on Golf Channel. It'll say NC or SC next to their names. And after ones, it's just going to be a bunch of NC. You might see somebody at 8 under, but they'll have an NC next to their name. And then you'll keep scrolling and there'll be a SC maybe at 5 or 4, and that'll be a phenomenal round. So
yeah.
like, can't emphasize enough how important a 68, 67 is at the North Course.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to shift away from the Farmers for a sec and just take a look back at what we've had so far this season. This is something I want to bring up. I feel like once again on the PGA Tour, the talent gap is closing. I just feel like every year for the past few seasons, you just see a lot more people you haven't heard of towards the top of the leaderboard. Not winning, but I mean, I think back in the day when Tiger Woods was winning every tournament he was, I mean, it would be impossible for him to do that today. I mean, there's just so much talent now, packed talent. I mean, back in even 2010, there were probably only 50% of the field that could actually win the tournament. And now there's a good 85% that actually have like a mathematical or like an actual chance to win, which I think is pretty cool. And I think we're going to start seeing that even more this year. I mean, just like a bunch of people that like, I get the Amex isn't a star-studded event, but like, I haven't heard of Lee Hodges in years and he was up there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool to see Hudson Swafford win.
Yeah, just like a bunch of people you just don't hear of very often.
Paul Barjan, Tom Hoagie. Like, you might hear Tom Hoagie pop twice a year, and there was one of them, right?
Yeah.
But he was there, and that's
Tom Hoagie makes a good paycheck every year.
Yeah, no, he's one of those dudes that you're kind of surprised made the BMW, right? He had like 2 weeks where he pops, and it's like, oh yeah, he's inside the top 70 in the FedEx. But I mean, you're right.
Charles Howe the third. I mean,
yeah.
For our viewers, go look up how much money Charles Howe the third has made in his career.
A lot.
You will be very surprised.
Made a lot of money.
More than you. That's just how it is. Some of these guys just racking top 30s just make a lot of money over a career.
Yeah. Unless Jordan bets them, then they're cursed.
Yeah, we're gonna get to our betting segment at the end. Do not bet. Just listen to the other two guys who are in the green, not me, who is 0 for 9.
Yeah, but this is
my picks. You won't regret it.
There something else I wanted to touch on. Oh, well, I guess a couple things. One was that this is the start of 4 weeks for Jordan, right? He officially committed to Phoenix in 2 weeks. So after this, it'll be Pebble, Phoenix, Riviera, and then likely a week off at the Honda before going API Players. And then, I mean, the Masters is coming up, man. Like, it's
I'm selling you real quick.
Coming. I mean, we're seeing it in the NFL commercials. I mean,
yeah, I know.
It's coming.
When they dropped that theme song for Torrey Pines, oh, that was so nice. I was like,
oh yeah, that just. What are your guys' thoughts on that, by the way? I didn't like it when it first came out last year. I'm not gonna lie.
I liked the old theme.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they changed it, and I'm like, oh, why'd they do that? But I kind of like it better than the old theme now.
I'm just happy to hear the theme. Like, I mean, I got the juices flowing. Jordan's playing 4 straight weeks. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like officially the start of golf season. Like, I know Century and Sony are cool, and the Amex is like, I don't know, you get the Pro-Am.
not cool.
But this is a real golf test on a real straightforward and boring, but it's a real golf course for the pros, at least, right? It's going to actually test them. So this will be a good week. And the other thing is the coverage. That's the other thing I wanted to touch on. We had the full ESPN Plus experience last week. I thought it was really good. I mean, they had the mainstream up before Golf Channel coverage came on for at least a couple hours. So there's a pretty good viewing sample every afternoon, you're going to get 6-7 hours of coverage, which is phenomenal compared to the previous years. And Jordan is in a marquee group Thursday, round 2.
Yeah.
Which means every shot, it'll be like one of the ones that
it'll be like a major.
It'll be a major, yeah.
They'll follow him walking and stuff. Like they won't. I'm sure they'll do some commercial breaks on like the majors, but like they won't be doing like showing other people.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to see what the North coverage is like, because I know for the Amex had 3 courses, and you could see a couple.
I know
on other courses, but it's going to be very limited compared to South.
Yeah, Wednesday could be rough.
So actually, it's the opposite. I just looked it up. Jordan's a marquee group on Wednesday. He is not a marquee group on Thursday. So he's only a marquee group when he's on the North Course, which I think is better because
that's way better.
We'll still get to see him on the main feed for sure.
So is he? I wonder, because they put it out. Where's PJ Tour Live? There it is. They put it out saying Spieth was like they have right now. They still have round 1 marquee group: Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Dustin Johnson. But I wonder if that's for like TV coverage. That's the like afternoon marquee group on the South Course, and then they're having the ESPN Plus marquee group on the North Course. Or like where are you seeing the North Course Wednesday?
Someone sent it to me. That's how it was last year too. Jordan was featured on the North Course, but he wasn't on the South. But I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, because that would be great.
Yeah, if that's the case, like as a tracker, I don't need to see every shot he hits on the South Course because I have the shot tracker on the South Course, but on the North Course we're kind of stuck. So if he's featured on Wednesday, that'd be awesome.
Maybe it's not. Someone sent me that it was though, so I'm not sure because that's how it was last year. So I wouldn't be surprised. But the graphic says that they're featured Thursday, but someone DM'd me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you guys can. I think it's gonna be. I think he'll be shown quite a bit on Wednesday because he's been shown. Last year he was only featured on the North Course. Like most of the feature group coverage was North Course. So unless they change it up this year, I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either to see a bunch of shots on the North, particularly because they know that they have ShotLink and they have main Golf Channel cameras on the South. But we'll see. Like, I guess we'll just kind of have to play it by ear. But hopefully, we get on the South, there will for sure be some coverage. And on one round, we will see every shot. So we'll just have to keep you guys updated, I guess, which time it is.
TV coverage starts 12:30 on Wednesday and ends at 4:32, and he tees off at 12:40 on Wednesday. So TV coverage comes like right on the air right when he's about to tee off, which is I think
12:30
a nice bonus. Yeah, on Wednesday.
Wow. It's pretty early for a West Coast. It's like a 9:30. Was that ESPN Plus or Golf Channel coverage?
That's Golf Channel on Wednesday.
What?
It's early.
Wow.
That is very early.
It's very early. Well, unlike the last few tournaments, we have seen Jordan play this tournament the past few years. So we know what the course is like. It's not going to be, even though this course is even better since we saw it a few less than a year ago at the US Open. So there aren't going to be any surprises. There's no surprise at Torrey Pines. You can see everything you're dealing with right in front of you. And you just got to play good golf. That's the appeal to Torrey Pines, if there is one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You got to play good golf to win, and the best player of golf will win the tournament most years. So there's something to be said about that. Thank you. Yeah, I think there would be a lot to talk about in the recap. I think there's going to be a lot that happens this week. I think we're going to basically be diving into everything Jordan does right and wrong.
Yeah. I mean, last year,
As we said before you go, Dan, it's tough to judge someone's game at the Century. It's very easy to judge someone's game here. So we'll know where it's at. That's for sure.
I think as Dan mentioned earlier, I'm really intrigued to see the putter, because if he putts well from short range like he did at Century, I think it's going to be a good week.
Yeah.
You gotta make your short putts here, because they're tough and a lot of guys miss them. So that's what divides the players, who can make the short putts here. I mean, look who won last year. Patrick Reid, great putter.
Yeah, dude, cleans up.
There you go.
Feet.
Exactly.
He also had that drop rules official fiasco on Saturday last year. That was crazy. The fact that that's a year ago is also pretty crazy. But yeah, okay. So 12:30 to 4:30 on Wednesday for Golf Channel, with ESPN Plus going from 12 to 7.
I don't know why they're so early on Wednesday, because they're 3 to 7
Yeah, they're 3
on
to 7 on
Thursday, and 3 to 8 Friday, and 2:30 to 8 on Saturday.
There must be some like thing on Wednesday that they have to also cover, because they have to move up the slot due to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do indeed.
but then on the weekend, rounds 3 and 4 will get coverage from 11:30 on ESPN Plus all the way to 8 o'clock on CBS, which is 8.5 hours, which is phenomenal. Like that's what people have been wanting for years now. So that is kudos to ESPN Plus, because they've definitely started on a strong foot.
Yeah, we get our first test of it this week, because we had the limited coverage at Century. I don't know if any of us three really watched Amex that much, if at all. So
I was following along a little bit because I wanted to see Rom make his run, but he did not. Unfortunately,
he didn't make his run, but he made his remarks on the golf course, which were funny.
He was not happy about. I think he was just mad because he couldn't make a putt, which I was mad about because he couldn't make a putt.
Oh, right, you had him.
And I was like, oh. But anyway,
yeah,
we got to get the trampolines back out.
Trampolines
back out. I think the trampolines were successful for me last week. We continue to dig ourselves out of a hole.
Yeah, we made $6, which is solid.
That's 106 more than you.
That is very true. But
yeah.
I guess you just didn't crash through the trampoline. You kind of just landed and then slightly bounced up.
Yeah, I guess I had to start after doing that. So here's my winner. It's 70-1. Max Homa.
Wow. Okay.
I like the course fit for him. I really do. I think that 70-1 is ridiculous odds. I saw on Barstool he's already at 50-1. So I guess I would have taken him there. I guess just to get 70-1 here on DraftKings is kind of nice, since we're not using FanDuel this week because none of the odds are up because it's a weird week. Not that we're actually placing the bets. It's just those where we're getting our odds from. 70-1, Max Homa. Give me that.
Seen a lot of Max Homa love this week. So not surprising, but I think that's probably the longest odds we've taken on a winner out of the three of us.
Probably. I'll put 20 on that. I'm going for the home run. If that hits, I'm a big 20 times 70. I mean
1,400. No, we'll see.
Of that. All right, Jordan.
My turn?
Yep.
I'm going with one of Jordan's mates on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going with Ricky. Just kidding. I'm not going with Ricky. I'm going with Bryson. Hoping to piss off any Bryson fans. I'm going Bryson all in. Bryson will not collapse on the back nine like he did at the U.S. Open in June.
See,
Bryson's on my blacklist until he proves he can put 4 rounds together with no greens books. So Bryson is my favorite pick this week if it wasn't for that. So I don't hate it.
He's a good enough putter as it is. Not needed.
He is.
Yeah.
I just think I need to see it.
Well, if you're going Bryson, I'm going Brooks. 35 to
I
1.
was debating.
This is he hasn't played very well here in the past, other than the 4th place at the U.S. Open last year. But I think he's finally healthy, and like if I, somebody was I got to tell a story because I went round and around on my pick to win this week. Because last week I went with Rom at 6 to 1, and somebody on Twitter, I'm not going to name them, they know who they are, said that there's no value in that pick. And that's very true in theory.
It's very true. You're not going to make money doing that.
There's no value in picking a ticket that doesn't win either. So if I thought Rom was going to win, I'm going to take Rom. So originally I was looking at Koepka, and then I was like, well, but I don't want to not have anything on Rahm because John Rahm, and he's due to he top 10s here every year. And I feel like he should just win at some point. Then I thought about Bryson, and then I thought about Spieth because he was at 40, but I was like, I already tried that at Century, the Spieth value play. I'm not going to do that again. Then I just ended up
getting better value.
Exactly. This is the highest Spieth's going to be all year. And this might be the highest Koepka's going to be all year because once he wins, he'll be back down in the 15s. So Brooks Koepka, 35 to 1. I'm putting 10 on it to cash 360.
I like it. All right. Venturing into the deep depths of a top 40 for my finishing position. There is no research done on this pick. This is entirely a gut pick. Just one of those no names who's going to have a decent week, who I've seen has been playing well at plus 165 to top 40. Grayson Sigg. I have no clue what his course history is. I'm not sure if he was on tour last year. I woke up this morning and was like, Grayson Sigg, top 40. So I'm going to put 20 on that as well.
Yeah. Played pretty well last week, right?
I've seen him up on the board, yeah. I'll leave $60 for my prop.
I think he just kind of fell apart on the weekend, which I think meant playing it in 1 or 2 over. But he's a good player. And you love those top 40s, but I can't blame you because if you're getting plus money on somebody who I think top 40 last week, then why not?
It's top 40 the past 2.
Yeah, it's a good bet. I might
be the week he misses a cut, but
I might have to start going down there at some point. But I'm not going there this week. Got a top 20 play here at plus 330 for Francesco Molinari. And it's been a while since we've heard about Francesco Molinari. But he had a T6 last week. He had a T10 at Farmers last year. He had a T13 at the U.S. Open last year, I think. And I don't know. I mean, he hit the ball great last week. His numbers looked really good. That's some pretty good value at plus 330 for a guy who's a major champ. So I think he's been gone for a while, but I think this is a decent fit for him, and it's a pretty good value there. So I'm putting 45 on that to cash 193.50.
Yeah.
It's my turn. I'm going with a very boring play.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
But
you just need to make anything at this point.
You know what, Bob? I don't need that comment. My self-esteem. We're going Sam Burns to top 20.
What are the odds on that?
Watch him. He's gonna finish T21 now.
That's just such a bad such a bad boring play though. Like you can get a
I don't
much
care.
like Sam
Don't
Burns
care.
hasn't done anything recently. Like he's still playing well, but he just hasn't in the recent weeks. I don't think he's done well. So I don't know.
He's Mr. Consistent. He's going to get me on the board.
Consistent T27s. All right, but if
25,
But he was
25 to pay off 50.
Wasn't he
plus
54?
200.
No, plus 1. 25 to pay out 50.
Plus 100. Oh, yes.
Wasn't
I don't
he?
care. He's consistent.
He was 54 whole leader last year, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he just shot like a 676, and
Yep.
it didn't happen for him. Or was it Reid? I can't remember. I know Sam Burns was relevant Saturday, Sunday last year. But we'll see. All right, Bob. Since you pumped up this prop bet, do you want to go last or do you want to spill?
I'll go first. I've been pretty I prop bets the past few weeks, but I'm gonna spill this time. So it's not on the board yet. We do not know the odds because there are no made miscut things up. I think Jordan's gonna do the same thing. So whenever the odds open on FanDuel for that or DraftKings, will take that. Let me just refresh it right now. See, do you really?
I think so. Are you going
You
back to
don't.
the well?
You don't. I'm not going with Jordan Spieth to miss the cut. I'm sorry.
No.
But I am going with
Didn't
Ricky
think
Fowler
that.
to miss the cut again because I'm gonna ride that until he makes a cut because he is just not good right now. I'm sorry. I mean, that was so free last week. I mean, he shot 1 under at La Quinta or 1 over at La Quinta to start the week, and I was just like, thank you. Like, I mean, I like Ricky. I'm not a Ricky hater at all. It's just, I mean, if he's going to keep getting me these points, I mean, I got to take it. Putting 60% of all my points this week on Ricky Fowler to miss the cut again. Let's do it.
Yeah, last week was not a good week for me. And I had Ricky Fowler playing well last week. He did not. But the last time we saw him at CJ, he was like winning almost.
That won't
But
happen this week.
we'll see. I was thinking about that. We'll see what the odds are. I bet they're probably like plus 110 or something now,
Yeah.
though. You won't get the 165
No.
after last week. But watching, I don't know. We'll see. Jordan, you or me?
I'm going last.
Okay. This one's on DraftKings, and I was deciding between two things. And I went with winner of the tournament to par the 72nd hole at plus 100. So I'm going to put 45 on that to make 90 or to cash out at 90.
Where do you see that?
It's on DraftKings.
Golfer props?
No, it's like tournament props or something. I was thinking it was either that or birdie.
72nd.
Birdie was
That's
plus,
the worst bet we're going to have all season long.
Winner
was
to
plus-
birdie? Winners never birdie the 72nd hole, I feel like.
Well, but it's Torrey, so the par 5.
Oh.
But at the same time, if they're leading and they have that pond, I'm thinking they just make par. I'm thinking Koepka makes par.
Dude,
So
the odds are on no.
yeah, well, because
Wow.
there's a lot more options than making par. You know what I'm saying? But I mean it's plus money, so I'm gonna throw
You should-
45.
You should
on
just
that.
take winner to not birdie the second hole.
It's
At
such a
110.
degenerate bet. But no, don't tell him that. His bet's placed.
You could have got the same bet plus more options for another plus 10.
What do you mean?
To not birdie.
Cannot be plus not 110.
It says winner to birdie
It is.
second plus 110.
Oh yeah, winner to birdie. Is
No.
plus
Bogey it.
Yes. Winner to birdie, no birdie is plus 110.
No, that can't.
I don't see that, Bob. I don't see that.
That cannot be true. Otherwise, I would have taken that.
Oh wait, no, that's no. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
My
I was
bad.
gonna say. Maybe let me go looking for this again. Tournament props.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
72nd hole.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's winner to birdie 72nd hole. No is minus 150.
Darn.
Nice try, Bob.
I mean, that's not a bad bet, but I feel like a par is likely given that it's a par 5. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. No, don't.
But at least I'll have something active until the very end. Like I will always, until the tournament is over, I will have something live.
What's my scenario to sweep the board this week? A Grayson Sig top 40 with Ricky Fowler disaster class on Thursday and Max Homa winning. It's pretty simple. There's no real scenario. Just all three things have to happen. Ricky Fowler will happen. I mean, that's not up for debate. That's a free $60 plus. If you tell that, just nuke it. Absolutely nuke it. If you we have 100-point limits. You don't have to put your life savings on Ricky Fowler to miss the cut. Don't do that. That's a joke. But if I personally could, I'd take a mortgage out on this one. But you shouldn't do that.
We'll clip that. And we'll save it just in case Ricky Fowler's got a Saturday tee or Friday tee time.
If he has a Friday tee time, I'll take a pod episode off, and you guys can do it by yourselves.
I'm just waiting until you guys allow me to.
Yeah, you can go.
My random play.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
The comeback began at the Waste Management Phoenix Open for Jordan Spieth last year.
Oh God.
The last time he missed the cut was the Farmers Insurance Open last year. Sentimentally, Jordan Spieth is making the cut this week at the Farmers Insurance Open.
I was about to say, if you said he'd missed the cut, I was going to say you'd finally win a bet, but
so you might get on the board.
My random play is Jordan Spieth will make the cut this week, and
that's going to be some horrible odds.
Yeah,
I don't care.
He's got to get one,
and it's not even going to hit.
No.
Sam Burns is going to make me money. Jordan Spieth is going to make me money, and I'm going to get on the board.
I mean, you could go 3-0, and with the amount of weight I'm putting on this Ricky Fowler bet, I'm going to just absolutely take it all from you. Like, I'm still going to gain on you, even if you go 3-0.
I personally am curious to see what the odds on Ricky are to miss the cut. There should not be a whole lot of value there. The guy sucks. He's terrible.
It should be like even money.
Yeah, it might be even money.
Even money's perfect.
But he was awful last week.
If it's minus money, give me 10 for the other two, and I'll put 80 on it.
You can't just change like that.
Are you sure?
You're cheating the system.
Okay, fine. I'll keep it at 60.
You kind of dropped your 60 on it already.
All right, then I'll take my 60.
I wouldn't mind you playing 80 if it was minus money, which I don't think it will be, because that's a pretty significant.
I honestly wish I did 5 on the other two, put 90 on this, or 1 on each.
You put 98.
You
can do that if you want. If you want to go to 98, that's fine.
He can't change it. I mean, he should have put 90 on Ricky. Ricky stinks. He's horrible. I'm sorry for Ricky fans too, because like we were in this spot with Jordan, where Jordan was just the best.
No, I don't hate Ricky at all. I like Ricky.
I love Ricky, but he can't even muster something at La Quinta.
Yeah,
he's going to Torrey.
But it's not even like he's.
But part of that's expectations. So.
Yeah, but it's not even like he hasn't had a top 5 in 2 years. Like he literally was in contention 3 months ago. In the tournament he played last, he was the 54-hole leader. Or maybe no, he played Zozo, and I think he didn't do too well actually. So he might have just popped at the summit. You know why? He probably saw Butch Harmon. Because that's right. That's Vegas, right?
That's Vegas.
Butch Harmon is the fixer, so I need to go to Butch Harmon because I don't change.
I don't think that's in your budget.
I was at the college the other day, My goodness, it was bad.
In episode 4 of the podcast, we said that by the time this podcast ended, Dan would break 80, and we'd make sure it happened. So
yeah,
it's got to happen.
well,
I'll take whatever the plus 6,400 that Dan breaks 80 by the end of this year. I'll sprinkle on that.
That is.
I'll sprinkle on
bold.
that.
I think we need a Robert Streb dub, and then just put all that money into my golf swing, and even then, woo,
Robert Streb wins this week.
I mean, what's he?
I'd be nuclear. I mean, that would
Streb's a value play this week. He's a value play.
What's Robert Streb at this week, boys?
I don't know. We'll go to FanDuel and see where he's at.
250 to 1.
He has. That is.
They're sleeping. They're sleeping on him.
I am also asleep on Robert Streb this week.
Robert Streb to miss the cut minus 600 or whatever it is. Hold on, we got to be nice though. It's not his fault.
Streb is 430 to 1 on FanDuel.
We charge it to the game. If Streb misses the cut, that ain't on him. But if he wins, though,
well, I mean,
the
tour is rigged, right? So,
absolutely. Are you kidding me? Everything's scripted.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Bob giving us his best impression of the Bills defense on Sunday night.
Was uncalled for.
I had to switch because I know we talked about it a little bit. We already laid our picks. Trampolines are out.
That drink just went down the wrong tube. I think we promised
the Bills
a little football segment. So, what are your takes on this weekend, Jordan?
Dan and I were talking about this prior to the podcast. There's just no sport like the NFL that creates moments like what we saw this weekend. 4 games decided on the last play. I mean, my team's out because we stink. And I'm watching every single game with like crazy anticipation when I have no dog in the fight. There's no other sport that gets me like that.
Well, I think also just the consistency of like, it's realistic to expect that to happen from the NFL, even though this weekend was amazing, right? And every team won by 3. Well, it would have been 3 points, I guess, but the Chiefs won by 6. But right, like last play of the game for every game is unreal. And I'm telling you, being from near-ish Detroit, there were a lot of Lions fans that were happy to see Stafford get the job done, which I think is like,
I think that's good karma for Lions fans.
yeah, it's good. I mean, I think there's more Lions fans rooting for the Rams than Rams fans.
Well, the Rams don't have fans,
I
so
think that's
you
kind of my
specify
point.
that.
Like I
Considering
think
their stadium will be
are excited. Like genuine, my friend was running around screaming that Stafford got the job done. Staff goat, that's what he called him. It's like
I would do the same thing if Joe Flacco.
What's so funny about it though is that Stafford might have just ended Brady's career. Like that'd be insane, right? If Brady hangs him up.
All right.
Which I think he could.
I think I've settled down here, and I think you're right. I think we might have seen the last of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers this year.
Oh.
I think there's a better chance we see Brady next year, frankly.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna ask you which is more likely to
I think there's a better chance Rodgers retires than doesn't, in my opinion.
I could see that.
I mean, that was probably the first playoff loss of his career that was very his fault. I mean, he just didn't play a good game, but I don't know. He's had a lot of playoff losses that just haven't been his fault. But I don't know. Some other takes I got from this week. That was an incredible weekend of football, but the NHL playoffs is still superior. That's number one.
Horrible take.
It's an interesting take.
It's just so bad.
To be fair,
Bob, off the top of your head, name an NHL game that's more entertaining than the Bills Chiefs game.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general. You can't.
No.
That's right. But on average, the NHL playoffs
I think
better.
honestly though, he might be right.
Like look at the wild card weekend. Like,
wild
what
card was
game
really
did you want to watch there over a tie OT game in Los Angeles at the Staples Center against the San Jose Sharks? And like, I mean, that's just, I mean, come on, that's pretty random. But another thing, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest, not greatest, best player to ever touch football. Tom Brady is the greatest because Tom Brady. Yeah, I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, there's no doubt about
crazy.
Tom, excuse me, can I talk real quick?
Oh boy.
Oh, we're not doing this here.
Jordan is the biggest Tom Brady.
Everyone
hater.
is giving Brady credit for them being in the game when Brady sucked in the first half.
Yeah.
The only reason he brought them back is because the defense got numerous turnovers. It gave him numerous short fields. He's been a short field merchant his whole career.
His whole career. Are you joking?
Okay, no, he's a short field merchant.
Here's what I'll say. Because as a Patriots fan, that stings a little bit. And I disagree with it. I think Brady's just had more experiences and more nationally televised games, so he gets way more scrutiny. And it appears as if he gets a lot of fortune, which I also do, but like he is a lucky player. But to have a GOAT career, you have to both be skilled, dedicated. You have to actually go win the Super Bowls, but you also need some luck on your side. And he's had his fair share. He's also had moments of, not great luck. But I think, they were down 27-3. And the fact that the Rams almost blew that game was unreal. Like I couldn't think of
as Jordan likes to say,
thank you for
mentioning defense.
Thanks for mentioning that the Rams almost blew.
Yeah, no, Brady did what he was supposed to do when the Rams gave him the chances. But even then, like he kind of left a little bit out there. But then in the fourth, he was like, he did everything right. And
so you're a realist Patriot/Brady fan. Like I know quite a few people that just do the exact opposite.
Yeah, we do know.
Well, we've been spoiled for 20 years. One of my
the thing is, I will give this credit to Dan. In order to win, you have to get the good breaks. Like you can't win without the good breaks.
Yeah.
That's how sports works. Like the Patriots got those breaks for 20 years, but the fortune favors the prepared. You know, like that. There's nothing against the Patriots getting those breaks. Like it doesn't take anything away from their wins.
Yeah.
Like that is sports. No team wins without getting a few good breaks down the line. And just because the Patriots have been blatant
cheaters.
I mean, the tuck rule.
Well, okay. We had this in the chat last night. The tuck rule is like written.
The Rams only putting up 3 points in the Super Bowl.
Because Belichick was a master.
Belichick was a masterclass in that game. That was Bill Belichick's best defense. Game. No, that was Bill Belichick's best game ever. That was the best coaching performance I've ever seen.
Okay, so here's the thing about, because a lot of people have been saying that because Brady got the ring with Tampa, that it's way more Brady than it was Belichick.
No, Belichick is still.
And the thing is like I disagree slightly.
Dan, with the take of the century, I've never found anyone who agrees with me besides my dad. My dad's the only one that agrees that Brady is a product of Belichick.
Well, okay, I'm not going that far. I think without each other, I don't think they do. Like if Belichick had Bledsoe instead of Brady, I think they probably win a Super Bowl, maybe
Correct.
2 in that early stretch.
I agree.
And then I think Brady probably wins a couple Super Bowls. Like I think they both have 2 or 3 in their careers, but they're not. Brady was in the perfect spot the first 4 years in the league, but then after that, it was a lot of Brady kind of helping the Patriots along. And then in 2018, Belichick had a master class, but then they also had the Eagles game where Belichick had the disaster class. So they balanced each other out very well. And it was
Here's
fortunate and amazing dedication and preparation and awesomeness for 20 years. And I'm very thankful for it.
Here's how I like to put it. Tom Brady would not have 4 rings if he had McCarthy as his coach for his first 15 years.
Well, duh, Rodgers has 1.
I mean, Rodgers with Belichick would have maybe 5 or 6, maybe 5 or 6. It's possible.
Right.
I mean,
you could say maybe 5 or 6. Yeah.
I mean, does he win the Falcons game? Probably not. But he could have won one of those other ones. I mean, a lot of those were close games that Brady just didn't
the
get.
Giants games, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, maybe not, but I still think he wins 4.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Like, I think Belichick probably got Brady 2 or 3, and Brady probably got himself 4, 3 or 4.
I mean, the Bucs Super Bowl is very fortunate timing because it was the first year he wasn't the Patriot and he won.
Right. Well, that's the other thing is people point at that and it's like, well, Belichick has a much harder job to rebuild the Patriots than Brady
Mac
does.
Jones.
Brady walked into the perfect spot. Oh, you slipped the Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is not
right
good.
Underneath my nose. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
sorry.
Mac
Sorry.
Jones,
He's
if you
not.
look statistically,
He
Mac Jones was
is a fraud.
he was
I feel bad for Dan because Dan's like a realist. Like Dan's not very.
He's
biased.
not though. If he thinks Mac Jones is good, I'm sorry. He's
okay,
not.
good
He's
is-
okay.
I hate the
Okay, but
Patriots, but I'll admit Mac
where's
Jones could be a
okay?
good quarterback.
Where's okay? Where do you
No.
rank him? Like statistically, advanced statistic. I mean, I'm a statistics guy. I strokes gained are like, I swim in those.
I'll give him
right?
this. He's top 2 in the AFC East. I'll give him that.
So he's
I'll
better
give
than
him.
Tua. I
He's
agree.
better than
with
Tua.
that. Okay,
I mean,
that's okay.
I'd rather Mac Jones over Tua.
as long
That's
as you
saying,
say
like,
he's
nothing,
better than
though.
Tua.
As of now,
With Tua this year,
As of now.
watching some of the Dolphins down the stretch. If you want to talk about like babying a quarterback, are you kidding me? The
Yeah.
RPOs, he threw 5-yard slants every time max, and people were talking all
no,
this.
we're a poverty organization. Let's here. I'm gonna just pull this out of nowhere. I'm gonna rank top 5 most poverty franchises in sports. Number 1. This is not ranked in any order, but
Just
number
5 in
1.
general?
Yes, just 5 in general. The Washington football team. I mean, they don't even have a name. I mean, that's horrible.
That field is it's cursed.
It's cursed.
Gotta be. Everybody
Number
like,
2,
snaps their leg in half on the one side of the field.
number 2, the Miami Dolphins, because I mean they're
Yeah,
a
why are
burning trash
you
can.
firing Flores?
I mean,
Where
it's
are the
horrible.
Lions? Where are the Lions?
You know, at least the Lions has some good coaching hires. Like, I mean,
Oh, Patricia was
The
terrible.
Lions.
Patricia
suck.
wasn't terrible though. Like, it made sense at the time.
Yeah, you never hire a Belichick.
The Lions are not on my top 5. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I don't think they can be either because the way they had Sanders and Johnson. Although you could make the case that they had both of those dudes and they didn't do anything with them.
Lions
All right.
are losers.
They are
Losers.
So are the Browns.
Number 3, Baltimore Orioles. I mean, they're just. I mean, Jordan. I'm sorry. They're a complete. They're a walking piece of dump.
No, I mean,
It's horrible. Number 4, the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, how do you have the best player in the world, maybe of all time, and can't make the playoffs? I mean, that's horrible.
And Gretzky still playing? Sorry, not a big hockey guy, but okay. Wait, what's his name? McDavid?
McDavid.
Okay.
Yeah. He is the best player I've ever
He's
seen.
like LeBron or whatever.
He's not like LeBron.
Steph.
LeBron is a fraud. LeBron is LeBron's a fraud. And number 5, ready for this? The Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
I mean, they are so poverty. I
that is
mean,
a hot take right there.
4 straight Super Bowls you can't win. That's number 1.
Mm.
I mean, maybe the most overrated head coach in the league besides LaFleur.
McDermott.
McDermott. He can't make decisions
Here's
at
the thing
all.
about McDermott.
I like
Um,
Sean McDermott. Just my opinion.
I don't know if he gets them over the hump though. Like
He
I think
doesn't, because they're poverty.
he
Top
did an
5 in
excellent-
sports.
He did an excellent job at getting Buffalo to where they are. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. But I also feel a little for him because he had to deal with the end of the Brady era, and now he's got to deal with the Mahomes era.
Nope. They had 4
Speaking of
chances to
overrated
win 1
coaches.
ring and they blew it. 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah,
You know who's an overrated head coach? The guy who just beat Sean McDermott yesterday.
Andy Reid, yeah, but he makes players good, which is
kind of
part of
agree.
being
Andy
a good
Reid-
coach.
Andy Reid was a career loser before he got Mahomes. He didn't win anything.
Oh, I don't know about that
Nothing.
one. He made
had no
Alex Smith
rings.
into a lot better than he was.
Won nothing. No rings before Mahomes. No.
I mean, you want to talk about overrated and fraud, Lamar Jackson. I mean, wow. I mean, talk about not top 1/3 in the league.
All right. So now you're just getting stupid. This would be a good time to end the podcast.
I mean, he's not.
Or I just
I mean,
completely go
how
off
can
on
you?
you.
How can he's not even the best quarterback on his team?
It's just like
I
Huntley
mean,
won
I get
one
he's
game.
he's a good running back, but like
So was Josh Allen after seeing yesterday.
Josh Allen's not that good either.
Oh,
He's good, but he's not as good as people make him out to be. I'm sorry.
Dude, I was thinking, watching Josh Allen for a moment, and then I caught myself. I was like, this dude better than Mahomes.
No.
And then I was like,
Patrick
no,
Mahomes will win
no.
5 rings at least.
Okay.
I mean, this is easy. I mean, this is such an easy second ring. He's only going to get 3 more in the rest of his career.
Yeah, but
I'm already locking it
I
in.
mean, everybody thought Brady had an easy ring when he had Case Keenum, Nick Foles, and Blake Bortles to beat, and he couldn't do it. I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Niners.
I'll sleep on them all I want.
I
Jimmy
thought they were
Garoppolo is
going to
not
win
winning
both
Super
of their
Bowl.
first games. The
No.
Cowboys are the Cowboys. Speaking of poverty franchises,
Yeah, facts.
maybe not poverty, but just in terms of expectations. My goodness, the Cowboys are.
Yeah.
I don't have the words for it to describe how not great they are.
You want to talk about not poverty at all, which is surprising? The New York Giants. They are not poverty at all. Every single opportunity they have to win, they take it.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. They are. If you looked at them just this year, though, they're pretty poverty. I mean, how does it take you a week to fire Joe Judge?
The Giants have 2 rings, and everybody's like complaining, but they've won 2 rings in the past 15 years. And a lot of franchises haven't even been to a Super Bowl in the past 15 years. And I know they're awful, right? Like they are bad right now,
They are pretty bad.
and they haven't done. I mean, who was their Kadarius Toney? Like he scored 0 touchdowns this year, I think. Same with Kenny Galladay, who they gave like $20 million to a year. Like that ain't right. But I think that's kind of what you get for taking Daniel Jones with this pick. I mean, come on.
I mean, no.
I hate to interrupt the sports talk real quick, the NFL talk, but I haven't got what are predictions for Jordan this week if we still have any viewers left.
I don't know if we do. I mean, people probably tuned out when. What was the worst take on this segment?
You.
No,
Yeah.
definitely was
Yes.
not. Definitely was not. Which one? Which one? Provide evidence.
I mean, you had the most of them. You had most of them.
Most bad takes. They're all good takes.
No, not the most bad.
I think the
takes.
best. I think
You
the
had
worst.
the
I think
most-
people stopped listening when Jordan said Sam Burns top 20 as his pick at plus 100. I mean,
Yeah.
come on with that.
is
You got to get
cool.
better value than that for someone who's by no means a lock to make
Come
it.
on, Jordan's bouncing back.
And then Jordan to make the cut at Torrey Pines is where you're putting your dollar dues at. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's sentimental.
All right. Here's my prediction for Jordan this week. Unfortunately, I think he goes bazoinkers at the North Course. And then I think he's like 8 under after the first round and just does nothing at the South. That's how I see this week going. I see him finishing like tied 28th or something after just having a bunch of even rounds at the South Course and maybe a few 2-over rounds. I don't know. That's what I think. legitimately. I think he goes out and gets our hopes up tomorrow, and then
Wednesday. Oh, it's coming out tomorrow. So yeah, you're right.
yeah.
It's an interesting take. I have a little bit of the reverse actually. I think that we're gonna be disappointed on Wednesday. Like it's gonna be like a 2-under, and we're gonna be like, oh no, that's not good enough. But then he's gonna just kind of hang around on Thursday, make the cut, be probably 6 or 7 back, try to make a Saturday push, miss a couple putts, and then Sunday's gonna be like 2 or 3 under, and it'll be a decent, like, whatever you said, Bob, T26.
I'm kind of with you, Dan. I feel similar. I think
Like,
be slow on Wednesday. He's going to make the cut, play
I would
well,
agree
just
with
not
that.
get
I
too
would
close
agree
to the
with
lead.
that.
I'm going to go higher with you, though. I'm thinking a T14.
Okay.
I think he plays well this week. Just he doesn't get in contention. He's like on the edge, if you get what I'm saying. Like he hovers around 5 back, just can't make a jump.
Yeah. I think that'd be a solid week, though. I think I'd take that.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
A win. Oh, I saw this today. Nosferatu on Twitter. We could be number 6 in the world with a win. That's crazy.
Wow.
Like,
Well, he's making the cut, so I don't have that to worry about.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, we'd like what, given our expectations for him this year, this next 4 weeks, especially the next 2, Pebble and Phoenix. It'd be nice to see some top 5 content, especially Pebble. Like I think
Sure.
serious contention is, if it's not upcoming in these next 4 weeks, I think there should be a little bit of sort of readjustment of expectations / slight concern.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You
Well,
got to play well, Pebble. But
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
anything else out of you, Robert?
Besides Lamar Jackson takes, no, sadly.
All right.
But
Take us home.
we'll
Yeah.
revisit this in the summer months before as the PGA Tour season winds down and the NFL approaches. And I think we can revisit the NHL as well, because that is something I know me and Jordan are in. I don't know, Dan, are you in? You're not an NHL guy.
Bruins are in the playoffs, so watch.
Yeah, they will be. And then Jordan's a Capitals guy, and I'm a Rangers fan, so we're the king of the Metros. But that's that. So I know the second half was completely not go get that pod material at all. But if you were listening, I'm sure it was entertaining. Or it was just infuriating for people like Ryan and some others. He doesn't listen to this, no way. He wouldn't give us the satisfaction of another listener. But that's that. So another good episode, kind of. Got a lot done, and we'll be back for not only the Farmers recap on Monday, but also on Wednesday, 61 Town for the Waste Magic Phoenix Open, which is my first event I'm really excited for. Because, I mean, that's one he can win for sure. He's going to win one of those before he retires, I guarantee you. So that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.
Peace.